Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Teaching English on Dروس Mega Goal 3. Let's start our class today by reviewing the plan. First, we're going to introduce the new vocabulary from the reading passage. And then we're going to introduce the reading, you do what for a living. Then we're going to answer some after reading questions. And then we're going to review some vocabulary from this reading. And at the end of the class, we're going to review 5 irregular verbs. Now we are at step number 7 in this unit, unit 5, working 9 to 5 at reading. Last time, in our last episode, we gave you some details about some of the vocabulary of this reading. And today we will review the reading in this reading in 7 paragraphs, as we will see now. And here you can see the title of this reading. The title, You Do What for a Living. It is not a usual heading actually, because as you can see here, when you want to pronounce this heading, you need to watch your stress to the word, and also you need to watch your intonation. How come? Because when you read the title, you need to say it in a particular intonation, and you need to make a stress on what. When somebody tells you, for example, that he works as a train pusher, like this one, this is an unusual job, and you want to ask him, and you want to express that you are surprised about his job, you can say it in a different intonation and stress on the word what. Like if he says, I work as a train pusher, you can say to him, you work as what? You see, the intonation now is different than the usual one. So now let's listen to this title when the native speaker reads the title of this reading passage, and find out how the intonation goes. Okay?
You do what for a living?
Listen to it again.
You do what for a living?
So you noticed here the stress goes to what, and he makes it as a question with raising the intonation of saying the word. Okay, stress on what and different intonation. For the last time, let's hear it now.
You do what for a living?
Okay. Now let's move to the second slide, which is about a general view about the 2 pages that we are going to cover in our class today, which is reading. And here you have the QR that leads you to get all the materials needed for this reading. What are these 3 unusual jobs? The first one here is about a doll fashion designer. Okay, there is a lady called Lily Martinez who designs clothes for dolls only. And here also we talk about a flavorist. Who is the flavorist? Is the person who makes flavors, who collects from trees and from plants to make natural and artificial flavoring that go into food. Okay, and also one of the strangest jobs is, or the unusual jobs, that the elephant pedicurist. The elephant pedicurist is the person who takes care of the feet of elephants. Okay, so here in this reading we're going to view some of the usual and unusual jobs, and there will be some suggestions for you to try these jobs. Before we go also to this reading, let's remind you of the vocabulary, so that knowing this vocabulary will make your understanding, comprehension better and easier. Now when we talk about a person, okay, as a noun, who collects ice crystal in snow and to analyze the effect of pollution on an area of snowfall, what do you call this one? Okay, snow researcher. This is one of the strange jobs that this article is going to talk about. How do you find it in the passage? You probably didn't consider becoming a snow researcher. It is very strange. Maybe you might have this job before, after you graduate and you finish school. This is what the writer suggests here. And here we talk about another verb, which means to receive money as a payment for work that you do. We call it earn. To earn money, that means to get money. Okay, here is the example. Thousands of people around the world earn a living performing unusual jobs that most people have never heard of them. So there are a lots of jobs that you have never heard about them, and they earn because of that much money. Okay. And here we talk about an adjective which means different from what is usual or expected. The opposite of usual is very easy to add just a suffix, a prefix called un. Okay, so you say usual the opposite of usual is unusual. How do we find it in the passage? The same example we mentioned a while ago. People earn a living performing unusual jobs that most people have never ever heard of them. Okay. And here we talk about a compound noun, someone who designs clothing. Okay. Who is the one who designs clothes? We call him fashion designer. The fashion designer is the one who designs clothes that will be mentioned inshallah in the second paragraph of this reading when we talk about Lily Martinez, who is a doll fashion designer. She designs clothes for dolls. Okay, here we talk about a noun which is a set of clothes worn for a particular occasion. We call it outfits. Okay, how do you find it in the passage? When Lily Martinez talked about her dreams when she was a child, she said, as a girl, I would design one of a kind outfits for my dolls. Okay, and here also we talk about this example here, a child's toy in the shape of a small person. Who is this child who looks like a small person? We call it a doll. Okay, Martinez is a doll fashion designer. She designs clothes for dolls. Okay, and here we talk about also cloth or material for making clothes, covering furniture and so on. Okay, that is fabric. Okay, fabric is mentioned here in this reading. She chooses fabrics and draws design sketches. She here refers to Lily Martinez, who designs her clothes for her dolls. Okay, and here is a noun which means a simple, quick-made drawing. What is this? It's called sketch. Okay, sketch, that means a drawing that our imagination for the design of something that you're going to that you're going to carry out or that going to make. Okay, Martinez draws design sketches. That's her main job, is to draw sketches to design her clothes for her dolls. Now we're talking about an adjective, anything related to art. If you use it as an adjective, you say artistic. Okay, so artistic means anything related to art. Do you have any artistic flair? The first paragraph or the second paragraph started with this question. Do you have an artistic flair? That means, do you have any talent about art or any gift about art? If you have so, we call you artistic flair. Okay. And here we talk about a noun which means how food or drink tastes. What is the taste of food? We call it flavor. The taste of food is called flavor. Here in the example, flavors can avoid the allergens sometimes contained in natural flavors. When we talked about the flavorist, we said that the flavorist usually collect flavors from some plants, and the natural one, maybe some people are allergic to them. But because they are artificial, this will stop being allergic to these natural flavors. Okay, now we will start our reading and we will divide them into paragraphs. As you know, this reading is divided into 7 paragraphs. Each paragraph will deal with a different topic, as you know. And here we are going to start with the first one, and we always call the first paragraph in each article an introductory. We call it introductory paragraph. That means the writer in this reading presents the main topic or the main idea that he's going to talk about, and he will conclude it in his last paragraph. So it is very important to understand the introduction, and also very important to see what the writer is going to tell you at the end of this article in his conclusion. Now, the first paragraph is about a general idea, as we said. Here it answers the question, or the writer is asking you if you have ever been asked about what you are going to be. Look at the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Everybody was asked this question before. And did you answer him? If you answer this question, that means it's a dream that you want to achieve, but it's not something that will happen. It might, something else might happen to you. So this is called the path career. Okay, so sometimes you need to decide what your path career is going to be in the future according to your aptitudes and to your talents and flairs also. Also, the writer from the first paragraph suggested some jobs that you might have in the future, like a greeting card writer or like a snow researcher, okay? And also he will talk about usual and unusual jobs, okay? What are these usual and what are these unusual jobs, and what does the writer mean by saying snow researcher? That's what you are going to find out when you read and listen to the first paragraph. So now let's read and listen together. This is the first paragraph, and notice how the title was pronounced as we said earlier, okay?
Pages 74 and 75. 8. Reading. You do what for a living? When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Perhaps a doctor, a teacher, or a firefighter? You probably didn't consider becoming a greeting card writer or a snow researcher, a person who collects ice crystals in snow to analyze the effect of pollution on an area of snowfall. Yet thousands of people around the world earn a living performing unusual jobs that most people have never even heard of.
Okay, so these are the introduction. This is the introduction for this reading. Okay, now we're moving to paragraph number 2. Paragraph number 2 is mainly about this girl. Her name is Lily Martinez. What is the job of Lily Martinez? Her dream from the very beginning when she was young to be a doll fashion designer, and she achieved that, and she was also trying to follow the trends of these fashions from her early age. And now you will find out if she succeeded in getting much money or to succeed in her work and her profession or not. This is going to be shown in paragraph number 2. Listen and read.
Take Lily Martinez, for example. She has a job that girls around the world would dream about doing, if only they knew about it. Martinez is a doll fashion designer. She remembers, as a girl, I would design one-of-a-kind outfits for my dolls. Her work is very similar to the work of regular fashion designers. She analyzes fashion trends, chooses fabrics, draws design sketches, and keeps a close eye on the styles of Paris and New York. Only she does all this to create clothing for 11.5-inch, 29-centimeter dolls.
Okay, so her work is only for dolls, and she was very successful because she was planning for that from her early age. Okay, now we're moving to paragraph number 3 and number 4. These two paragraphs are mainly about flavorists. Who are flavorists? Flavorists are the persons who collect some trees and some flowers from the nature to make flavors for food. They make the natural one artificial. They change it from nature to artificial. What are the characteristics that they need? What are the things that they need to be successful? They need, the most important thing is to think outside the box. That means to be creative. Okay, so that was mentioned in at the end of the fourth paragraph. And find out about this job, which is a flavorist, and think of doing like this when you finish school, inshallah. Okay?
Do you have an artistic flair and an interest in science? Do you have a strong sense of taste, smell, and imagination? Then you might make an ideal flavorist. A flavorist is a person who creates natural and artificial flavorings that go into foods. Their work entails first identifying the individual chemicals found in nature. Then they recreate the flavors using different chemical combinations. Such manufactured flavors often last longer, have stronger flavor, and smell better than flavors found in nature. These flavors can also avoid the allergens sometimes contained in natural flavors. According to Carol Militescu, a senior flavorist, there is not one single way to create a flavor. Different chemical combinations can make the same flavor. You might think the flavors are identical, but how you put the chemicals together makes them very different. Militescu says that to be a successful flavorist, it is essential that you think outside the box.
Okay, so now you'll need to be with artistic flair to get this job. Now, are you interested with animals, or do you think working with animals meets your ambition and meets your aptitudes? Okay, this paragraph, or these two paragraphs 5 and 6, are about animals, and especially about elephants. Okay, so if you want to work with elephant, you might find a job called an elephant pedicurist. Okay, who's the pedicurist? We said that the one who takes care of animals' feet, or particularly elephant feet, and who takes their nails. And because of the captive animals, the animals that are kept not roaming, sometimes need to be to take care of them and take their nails out, because they are not in the nature which takes their nails naturally. Okay, so read about Mr. Mike Howard, who is interested in this job and who likes working with animals, and find out in these two paragraphs.
But perhaps you would prefer a job working with animals. If so, you might consider a career as an elephant pedicurist. It may sound silly, but keeping an elephant's nails clean and trim is critical to their health. Like human nails, elephant nails grow continuously. Elephants in the wild wear down their nails naturally, but captive elephants have fewer opportunities to roam. Elephant pedicurists scrape the bottom of the elephant's feet to get rid of calluses, dirt, and embedded rocks that can cause infection. They also trim, file, and shape the elephant's nails. Mike Hayward, the elephant pedicurist for the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, loves his job. He gives pedicures to his 12 elephants every 5 weeks. The elephants generally cooperate with Hayward, waiting patiently through the 2-hour process. Says Hayward, "It's almost like not going to work because the elephants are like my family."
Okay, so it is very clear that Howard loves his job, and also the elephants waiting patiently for their turn to have this service. Okay, and now we're moving to the conclusion of this reading, which is about the summing up of the general idea of the article. When you want to mull over, that means when you think about your future and how you will be, you need to think of two options. You find a usual job, or traditional job, or non-traditional job. This depends on you how you think. And here the writer is summing up, or giving you the summary of this article in this short paragraph. Let's read it and listen to it and find out what he wants to say at the end of this article.
So, the next time you mull over your future career path, you might want to consider some non-traditional career options. After all, there just may be a new flavor waiting to be discovered, or an elephant whose feet will benefit from your expert care.
Okay, so this is his suggestions. You need to find out about your future plans for the job that fits you, or that meets your aptitudes. Okay, now after reading questions, now let's answer them, some comprehension questions, like the first one here. What is Lily Martinez's job was? What was her job? Her job was, as you can see here, she is a fashion designer for doll clothing. Okay, and number 2, what are some of her responsibilities to reach this, or to achieve this, to make the fashion designer? What are the procedures that she follows? Number 1, she studies fashion trends, chooses fabrics, draw pictures of her designs, and watches fashion shows. Number 3, describe what the flavorist does. Okay, to make a flavor, what does he do? Number 1, a flavorist makes natural and artificial flavoring to put into food. Okay, so he makes natural and non-natural, which is called artificial flavors. Okay, number 4, what are some of the benefits of manufactured flavors? Manufactured flavors are the flavors that are considered as artificial, not natural. Okay, manufactured flavors last longer. They last longer. They can be kept for a long time. Also have stronger flavor. Their taste is very strong. Smell better. They smell better also, and have fewer allergens. That means they don't cause allergy to people who smell them or who eat them. Okay. Number 5. What does giving an elephant pedicure entail? To do this, to give the elephant pedicure, what are the procedures? What are the steps that you do for the elephants? Number 1, elephant pedicure entails first scraping the bottom of the elephant's feet to get rid of calluses, and number 2, dirt. Also, you remove them, and you remove also rocks that are connected to their feet, and trimming also. You trim their nails, filing and shaping the nails. Okay. The last question here, number 6. Why is it important to give pedicures to captive elephants? Why it is important? Because captive elephants, that are the elephants that are kept not free to go and roam everywhere. No, they are kept in a small place. They usually cannot wear down their nails naturally, and rocks and dirt in their feet can cause infection. If they are kept for a long time, that might cause them some infections. Okay. Now let's review the vocabulary. Now you read this article, this about 500 word article, and now try to remember what these words are. Now we give you definition, and we give you a picture of this word, and we give you also the part of speech, and you will need to find out what these words are. Any flavors that are not defined as natural. There are natural, and there are something called artificial flavor. Artificial, that's opposite of natural flavor. Okay, a flavorist is a person who creates natural and artificial flavorings. Next, we talk about a substance obtained by a chemical process. What is it? It's chemical. If it's not natural, it is also considered as chemical. A flavorist's work entails first identifying the individual chemicals found in nature. Next, we talk about a result of 2 or more things joining together. If you join 2 things, 2 chemicals together, we call it combination. To combine 2 things, that means you join them together. The example here, flavorists create flavors using different chemical combinations. Okay, now here we're talking about an adjective, which means produced in a large-scale industrial operation that is manufactured. Manufactured means created artificially. The example here, manufactured flavors last longer. They stay for a long time. Okay, and here we talk about a person who is responsible for medical or cosmetic treatment on feet. We call him pedicurist. Okay, when we talked about the one who takes care of elephants, you might consider a career as an elephant pedicurist. Okay, and here we talk about an adjective which means tidy and well ordered. That means trim. Okay, keeping elephants' nail clean and trim is critical to their health, which is very important to their health to make their nails trim. Okay, without a pausing or interruption. Continuously means an adverb here, which means without pausing, which means also continuously, which is going on and on. Okay, here the example: elephant nails grow continuously. That means never stop. We talk about another verb, to walk without a fixed purpose or direction. That is roam. To roam, that means you go out, the opposite of captive when we talk about animals. Captive elephants have fewer opportunities to roam. Okay, here we talk about another verb, okay, which is to remove an unwanted top layer from something, to scrape. To scrape something means to remove the top layer. Okay. Elephant pedicurists scrape the bottom of the elephant's feet to get rid of calluses. Okay, and here we talk also about a noun, which means an area of hard skin on the feet of hands, that is callus. Okay, elephant pedicurists scrape the bottom of the elephant's feet to get rid of calluses. Calluses are the part that is grown usually in hands and in feet. Okay. It's an adjective here, fixed into the surface of something, that means embedded. Okay, the example here, you see it, elephant pedicurist get rid of embedded rocks that can cause infection. Okay. Now we talk about also another verb, to help willingly when asked. That means cooperate. Okay. The example here, the elephants cooperate with Howard, waiting patiently through the 2-hour process because they like it, because they are given a good service. Okay. And here we talk about another adjective which means having or showing a lot of knowledge or skill, which means expert here. Expert here is a noun actually, but it was used as an adjective, as you can see here in the example. An elephant feet may benefit from your expert care. Expert care is a noun. Here, the last part of this class of today is the irregular verbs. Get. Do you remember what's the past of get? It's got, and the past participle is gotten. And here give, the past is gave, and the past participle is given. Okay, think of this verb go. How do you say go in the past? Went, and in the past participle we say it gone. Okay, and here have. If you are having your breakfast, and if you want to say it in the past, you say I had it. In the past participle, had as well. And here the past is heard, and past participle is heard as well. And that's all for our class today. Thank you for watching, and see you inshallah in the next episode. Goodbye.